My name is Jennifer. I had been married to my husband for 3 years when we were blessed with a long-awaited child. We named her Emily, and I looked forward to raising her together with my husband, Mike. However, life can be cruel. On a rainy day, marking Emily's first birthday, Mike was involved in a tragic car accident and never returned home. Overnight, Emily and I lost him, and it felt like we were thrown into darkness, unable to find our way. My in-laws, who must have been grieving as much. My Phil, Jason, and Mill, Samantha, who should be grieving for losing their son, if not more than me, encouraged me, and I couldn't stop my tears. They told me, "It's sad, but we'll help, so let's raise Emily to be a wonderful person, okay?" Indeed. With Mike gone, I had to raise Emily on my own. After several days of mourning, I wiped away my tears and began working. I moved in with my in-laws and occasionally received support from my own parents, working tirelessly for Emily's future. I worked day and night, and I think Emily grew closer to my in-laws than to me. Nonetheless, being called Mom by Emily and seeing her smile made all the fatigue disappear. Eventually, my efforts at work were recognized. 20 years after Emily was born, having worked continuously, I was moved to tears seeing her grown up. So I bought a dress and celebrated Emily's coming of age in a big way, which we celebrated grandly. My in-laws were also tearful seeing Emily's transformation. After sending Emily off to her coming-of-age ceremony, my in-laws and I praised each other. After the ceremony, Emily planned to change out of her dress at home and then celebrate adulthood, having a party with her classmates at a restaurant.
Jennifer, you've done well. We're truly grateful for how you've raised Emily.
Indeed, you've been wonderful.
No, it's because you both supported me that I could keep going. Even as Jason ran his company, he and Samantha would look after Emily when I was out working part-time. I was determined to raise Emily to be admirable. Fulfilling my expectations, Emily went to a top university, with me covering the costs for tutoring and university expenses. Now it's just a matter of what kind of job Emily will land after graduating from university. If Emily has a job she wants to pursue, then it's not my place to interfere. Now, with Emily having 2 more years until graduation, I felt a weight lifted off my shoulders. Yet I was unaware of, in ways I was not aware of, how she's living her life and what she thought of me. As soon as she started university, Emily began living on her own. I would occasionally visit her apartment to check on her and send her groceries. This routine ended when she graduated from university.
Mom, thank you for everything.
Emily said. Her words just made me feel rewarded. Thinking my role was over, Samantha laughed.
Jennifer, there are still celebrations to come. Let's celebrate grandly when Emily gets married.
I agreed. Whether Emily marries is not for me to decide, but I would love to celebrate it grandly if she does. Before I knew it, 4 years after graduating, Emily introduced us to her fiancé Ryan. It seemed Emily was very fond of him. Ryan, though not much of a talker, was confident and polite, greeting me and my in-laws with saying, "I'm looking forward to our future together." Emily seemed proud of Ryan, hugging his arm and cheerfully saying, "Isn't my fiancé great?" They've decided to have a wedding ceremony. When Samantha asked about the wedding, Emily said, "I want to have a big wedding. I want to invite lots of friends and coworkers too." Emily would surely be particular about the venue and the food. But I've been saving up for Emily, so I can help out. Before we knew it, time had passed, and Ryan had headed home. That night, after my in-laws went to bed, Emily, who was staying over, told me, "I want to talk to you." As we sat down in the living room, Emily suddenly said, "I have a request. I don't want you to come to the wedding." I was stunned and couldn't understand why. I am Emily's mother. Is it normal for a mother not to be invited to her daughter's wedding? Why? I managed to ask, too shocked to say more. Emily shrugged and sighed heavily.
Ryan's family is a prestigious lineage, you know. It's amazing that someone like me, without a father, can marry into such a family.
Could they have mentioned that you're from a single-parent household?
Ryan and his parents are good people. Don't say weird things.
Emily snapped, which surprised me, but it was clear she trusted Ryan and his parents. I had worried about potential conflicts with Ryan's family or him, but if Emily felt affection for them, it seemed all right. Yet, why did Emily suddenly bring up being from a single-parent family?
When I met Ryan's parents, I told them about Dad's accident.
And they seemed to have sympathized, acknowledging how hard it must have been for you.
I realized being told it must have been tough for you all this time means that, due to not having a father, I've had to go through more struggles than most people.
What?
Why didn't you ever consider remarrying? Having a new dad could have given me a better life. I didn't realize it because I was focused on my studies, but if I had a dad, maybe I could have enjoyed my life more.
I had worked tirelessly to ensure Emily didn't lack anything. So I hadn't had the opportunity or time to consider remarriage. So her question why I didn't remarry puts me in a tough spot. If only Emily had expressed a wish for me to remarry.
And I heard from Grandma and Grandpa that you were a janitor. If you had remarried and my new dad had money, I could have had a better life. My miserable life is all your fault.
I had never spared any expense for Emily. Paying for her tutoring, commuting, and her expensive university tuition. And yet, to feel so miserable. Her words felt like a denial of all my efforts I've done. Was her previous thank you a lie? Emily sighed deeply upon my silence.
A janitor and a low-income family member shouldn't attend my wedding. Do you understand? I don't want to be embarrassed because Ryan's family is respectable. Grandma and Grandpa are okay since Grandpa runs his own company, though it's on the smaller side, and I think Grandma cares about me more than you do.
So it's really okay for me not to attend your wedding.
That's what I'm saying. I don't need a janitor and a low-income family member. I'm marrying into a respectable family.
She insisted, glaring at me. I felt as if my efforts were negated, wondering what my life had been for, but then I thought, well, okay. I had intended to support her until she graduated from university. regardless of the path Emily chooses as an adult. I no longer have the right to intervene unless she seeks me out as her mother. It seems she doesn't want to think of me as family, which is fine. As an adult, it's only natural for her to make her own decisions, and it wouldn't be right for me to stop her. Understood. I won't attend the wedding, and since you don't want to involve me, we can consider this a cut in ties, right? Emily laughed at my words.
I was going to suggest cutting ties too. It's exactly what I wanted to. Exit from my life, please.
With that, she left the house, despite it being night. My in-laws, who had been awake, came to me with pitying looks. Samantha hugged me, and I cried for the first time in a while. A month passed, and I continued living with my in-laws as if nothing had changed. Emily hasn't reached out to me, but it seems she's been in touch with my in-laws.
Emily wants to have a $100,000 wedding and is asking for our financial support. What should we do?
Samantha asked. Jason shook his head and firmly said, a wedding should be within what the couple can afford on their own. We won't be contributing money to it. Of course, we'll give a gift, but it won't be a large sum. When Mike and I got married, we also didn't seek financial help from others and held our wedding within our means. It might be that Emily has come to expect financial support as a given. Even during her university years, I made sure she could focus on her studies without needing to work by sending her money each month for her living expenses. Maybe she's never had to seriously earn money because of this. While I was wondering if I'm to blame for her attitude, Samantha quickly made a phone call to Emily.
Emily, I'm sorry, but we can't provide any money. A wedding should be held within what you can manage on your own. As your grandfather says, don't be upset now. Goodbye.
And she promptly ended the call. Even though Emily is a precious part of the family to my in-laws, it seems they are both angry with her. They had heard what Emily said to me. They seemed to have been listening our conversation from the beginning and became furious when they heard Emily's harsh words to me and her telling me not to come to her wedding. They couldn't forgive her behavior that disregarded all my efforts for her. Moreover, Emily is mistaken. If we remained low income, sending her to a top university would have been impossible. Even working multiple part-time jobs has its income limits. That's why, with the knowledge and business studies I pursued while working part-time, I started a cleaning company, backed by Jason. It began with a few people, but soon Jason contracted us for his company's cleaning needs. We always aimed for meticulous work, and Jason recommended us to his business associates, allowing me to expand the company. We focused on thorough training for new employees, ensuring everyone acquired a certain level of cleaning skill, and our prompt and careful service became well known. Finally, the company has started to stabilize financially, and though I had intended to contribute to Emily's wedding, I no longer feel that way. Jason, Samantha, I'm planning to take some time off soon. How about we go on a trip? My parents would love to see you again.
That sounds wonderful. I have so much I want to talk to your parents about.
I'm looking forward to it since your dad and I share a taste in liquor.
We prepared for the trip, without taking her marriage into consideration at all. Months passed, and on the day of Emily's wedding, since my in-laws had decided to skip it, we were on our trip. After enjoying the hot springs at our destination, Emily suddenly contacted me. When I received a call out of the blue, I wondered if something had happened. On the phone, Emily suddenly said, "Mom, come to the venue right now." I frowned. "I don't even know where your venue is. You called me low income and told me not to attend your wedding, and now you want me there." When I spoke sharply, she choked out, I could hear a man's voice over the phone. It was faint, but straining my ears, I could hear a man's voice saying, "I thought marrying you, a woman with a CEO grandfather and mother, would be lucrative." I didn't hear anything about neither attending the wedding. Wasn't I supposed to get a hefty sum? That had to be Ryan's voice. I was shocked at Emily's true nature and Ryan's intentions, thinking he was from a distinguished family, but perhaps that wasn't the case.
"I give you the venue's address. Come right now."
"No can do. I'm on a trip."
"Then do you know where Grandpa and Grandma are? I stressed they should come, but got no response."
"Oh, they blocked you. Said they didn't want to speak to you anymore, but they did send a letter to your house."
"A letter?"
The letter from my in-laws essentially said, "We're cutting ties with someone who forgets the kindness of their upbringing."
Emily hasn't appreciated the financial support from her family. We shouldn't lend her money or continue the family relationship.
I agreed with this sentiment. My own parents also decided to cut ties with Emily after hearing about her actions.
"What should I do? I told Ryan you wouldn't come, and he got furious, counting on your company's money."
It sounds like Ryan was only after the money, not really interested in you.
"Exactly. If I've been cut off, marrying me wouldn't mean anything to him. He said he might call off the engagement."
If Ryan was only after the money, a breakup might be for the best. A man like that wouldn't make a good husband. If that leads to a broken engagement, so be it. Besides, the thought of helping Emily and trying to mediate between her and Ryan didn't cross my mind at all. Well, it's none of my business. Call off the engagement if you want. We're on vacation, so please don't ruin our trip any further.
"But, Mom, please, just attending the wedding would be enough. I'm begging you."
I ended the call and blocked her number. Continuing the conversation seemed pointless. Later, I heard the rest of the story through acquaintances. A few of Emily's classmates attended her wedding, and I got the story from one of their mothers. It seems like the groom loudly declared, "I'm breaking off the engagement because the bride doesn't have money." It appeared that people around thought the groom was in the wrong. However, when Emily, comforted by classmates later, mentioned that if only my mom had come, and shared that I had refused to participate, she was met with disbelief. She was scolded by friends for acting so entitled after having her tutoring, university, and living expenses all paid for. Realizing her mistake, Emily came to apologize at the front door of our place, but I had no intention of letting her in. Since then, she started coming over frequently, leaving an envelope with money, not showing herself. saying, "I'll cover the university expenses, no matter how long it takes. Thank you for everything." When she completes paying back the university expenses, I might think about reconciling with her.